Okay. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about Nestle, SDGs, and what SDGs Nestle supports and not and doesn't support. So before we start, I'm going to introduce our names. So my name is Serena, and here with me is Janelle. So for those of you who doesn't know what Nestle is, or maybe haven't heard of Nestle, you probably have consumed their products before. Nestle is a really big food and beverages company that originated in Switzerland, and Nestle has factories in more than 80 countries. Nestle has created products such as Kit Kat, Nescafe, Milo, Cocoa Crunch, and many more.
All right, so before we start talking about the SDGs, we need to learn what they are first. So SDGs stands for Sustainable Development Goals, which is a worldwide plan created by the United States to end the issues faced around the world, like poverty, hunger, gender discrimination, racial discrimination, diseases, um, production, and much more. So this approach supports the people, the economy, and the environment, putting the most vulnerable first.
So our goals for this project is to see the positive and negative actions that Nestle has done, see what needs to be improved by Nestle, educate people about SDGs and explaining why it matters, and we're going to show Nestle's contributions to the SDGs, and we're also going to suggest our own solution. And disclaimer, this is only for educational purposes, and we don't mean to harm or expose Nestle in any way. So we're going to see the SDGs that Nestle has supported. So the first one is SDG 2, which is zero hunger. So for this SDG, we can see that Nestle is supporting it by seeing the program that Nestle has created called Farmers Connect. And through this program, Nestle has connected with over 719,000 farmers worldwide to source raw materials. And Nestle also teaches them about how to grow different crops together and teaches them about nutrition. And this program promotes sustainable agriculture, which aligns with SDG 2. The second one is SDG 5, which is gender equality. We can see that Nestle supports women farmers and livelihoods to their programs, and we can see that the company gives them farming support, training, and technical help. And this project teaches women how to farm and gives them more knowledge and more training. The third one is SDG 8, which is decent work and economic growth. So we can see that Nestle is supporting this SDG from the job opportunities and internships offered through many people through the program Nestle Youth, which aims to help 10 million young people to gain economic opportunities by 2030.
And now for the unsupported SDGs, aka the weaknesses, which is the SDGs that they haven't been doing the best in. The first one, we have the 12th SDG, which is responsible consumption and production. Even though Nestle claims that their baby products, like foods and formulas, are giving children the best start in life and saying that, oh, this is super nutritional, very healthy for your kids. But a laboratory tested tested their samples of like 150 of their baby products, and it indicates that the sugar content exceeded the international food safety guidelines. Products in countries such as countries in Southeast Asia, Africa, Latin America has a lot more sugar than countries in Europe do. And that includes Indonesia. They specifically target countries with weaker economies because they have like less standards that they can easily pass by in terms of the health and safety.
So our solution for this problem is product reformulation. And we're analyzing our solutions through SWOT, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So for the strengths, we think that our solution can make consumers trust in the company more and make healthier products. Trusted consumers is because through reformulating products, uh, Nestle can make a detailed explanation about the products and be transparent about it and not lie about the products involved, which can make customers trust more in Nestle and their products. Second, it can make healthier products because this can allow the company to discard any unhealthy ingredients. But for the weaknesses, uh, reformulating products can result in changes in taste because changing the ingredients and stuff can make the taste change and might lead to dissatisfaction. Second is the cost because with changes in ingredients, it can make the cost more expensive or ma- what meet what might lead to customers being unsatisfied. The third is the threat. This solution can cause higher production because it needs technology, new ingredients, and the company also needs to test the products, which leads Nestle to need a bigger budget. The second is more competition because other companies might have the same idea and make a better products. So customers might buy their products instead of Nestle's products. For opportunities, there is partnerships with health organizations because the solution can create an opportunity for Nestle to collaborate with health, healthy brands to make their ingredients or to make their new products more healthy. The second is positive media recognition because with people trusting in Nestle and trusting their healthy products, consumers can be happy and this can lead to positive media recognition.
All right, for the second weakness, we have SDG 13, which is climate action. And Nestle committed that by 2025, that 100% of their packaging would be reusable or recyclable. But instead of massively reducing the amount of plastic waste they actually use, they just say that they will, even though there is not much that have been proven that they did actually change anything in their packaging and in their products. Nestle says that, oh, this is all already used from recyclable plastic. This is all um one use plastic that's been recycled and stuff like that. Though um from a research conducted, there's a company that they received a lawsuit from Client Earth alleging that they did greenwashing, which is essentially um making it seem like they're doing more for the environment than they actually do. So there's not much that they actually did to um, to save the environment, making them also receive a lot of backlash from activists. So our solution for this is to implement plastic banks specifically for Nestle products. The strengths of this would be that it helps support the economy of those participating, including Nestle itself and also the people that that participates in this. plastic bank. Because the way plastic banks work is that you turn in plastic and trash in return for money. So if anyone is struggling, like any of their customers are struggling, they could easily earn money from just collecting plastics and trash, and that could also um make people have more insensitive to want to recycle trash. But for the weaknesses, we have unpredictable effectiveness. So this solution mostly relies on the people and whether or not they actually contribute in it or not, because some people, whenever the depending on the depending on the depending on yeah the so sometimes people can be in like environments where they don't have any trash cans nearby, or when they don't have any plastic bags nearby. Sometimes they choose to throw the trash rather than keep it and just throw it out somewhere like on the streets, on in rivers and other stuff like that. And for the threats, we have greenwashing accusations because people, especially since people are still skeptical about Nestle and their claims and their promises, most likely it would lead to greenwashing accusations, which is basically they say that, oh, this is actually not doing as much for the environment, and this is just greenwashing, and you're not actually doing anything with the waste. You're just pretending that this is going to be helpful for the environment. And for the opportunities, we have further technology development, because with this, Nestle could learn more about the technology, and they could learn to develop more technologies like this, and also they could increase their brand partnerships, which is basically they can have partnerships with activists and with relationships with other companies that also do plastic banks and also cares for the environment. And for the third weakness, we have the SDG 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. Over a decade ago, Nestle promised to end the use of child labor in the making of its products. However, today, they still receive allegations that they still have children younger than 15 that still work at the cocoa farms connected to Nestle. The cocoa products, some of the examples here being Milo and Kit Kat and other chocolate-based products that Nestle has. So about 260 researchers have visited around 260 farms because they were commissioned by the company to do so. And um, they found that 56 workers under the age of 18, of which 27 were under 15, that were still working in those cocoa farms. And in one of the farms, even, they found that evidence of forced labor, with a young worker giving a testimony about not receiving any salary for a year's work at the farm. So our solution for this problem is to implement a remediation plan. So the starts of this would be reputation and brand enhancement, showing that hey, we as a company actually want to stop child labor, and we can show that the company actually want to fulfill their promises for once, even with their um, low reputation when it comes to fulfilling promises. And it also minimizes long-term financial risk because it reduces the risk of future costly disruptions like fines, legal action, and costly reputational damage that can be caused by having children working at their farms. And for the weaknesses of this is the complexity and the slow implementation. So fully stopping the supply is very complex, and it takes time for them to stop all the children working, and for them to find replacements, and for them to find solutions that would, you know, further the that would not stop the supply even when a lot of their employees are getting laid down. So for this, the threats would be stakeholder criticism, because again, Nestle doesn't have the greatest reputation when it comes to things like this and their doings. So the media might be a little bit skeptical, and some of them might accuse the company of trying to cover up their past actions, or trying to cover up like more child labor and more things happening inside of the country. But for the opportunities, we can influence industry standards, and because this decision can help us shape new industry-wide norms and open many opportunities for collaboration. Because with Nestle being such a big company, they could have a lot of influence over other smaller companies, and with this decision, we can put we can try to put a stop to child labor as a whole. So that's it for our presentation. Thank you
Thank
for
you for
listening.